¿Te gusta más llevar camisa o camiseta? ¿Cuál es tu color favorito con la ropa? You may be able to answer these questions after today's lesson. Hola, soy Alejandro. Bienvenidos a Kiss Spanish. And this is one more lesson, the second one of Unit 3 of our course for beginners. Make sure to check our playlist if you haven't already to see the previous ones. For now, let's get into the contents of today's video. The goal at the end of this Unit 3 is for you to decide what gifts to buy to some relatives and friends. And in order to do that, you need a lot of vocabulary and other skills. And that's why in the previous lesson, we talked about some stores and products and typical Spanish products too, jamón, el aceite, etc. And today, we're going to cover some vocabulary around clothes. If you remember from the last video, John needs a jacket, necesita una chaqueta. ¿Y dónde puede comprar John una chaqueta? En la tienda de ropa. But John prefers to check an online store instead of a physical store. So he's taking a look at Farman. And a question to you. Do you normally buy online? ¿Tú compras online o prefieres comprar la ropa en la tienda física? Or do you prefer to buy the clothes in a physical store? Well, in Spain, 77% of people between 35 and 44, which is the group that buys the most online, prefer the option that John just chose, which is go online instead of the physical store. But also all age groups are rather on the online side. And this is from 2020, so I'm guessing that by now the numbers have just increased. As a curiosity, the thing that people buy online the most is ocio, which means leisure. This means concerts, movies, entries to tickets to things. Then these kind of purchases are made mostly online. And travels. So people book travels now mostly online instead of going to a travel agency. And the third one is the one of today's topic, which is moda. Moda, fashion, just clothes. In today's video, we're going to do a listening comprehension activity that involves discussing different options of clothing. And for that, they are going to be referring to colors a lot. So let's first introduce the vocabulary of colors. Here we have some colors, los colores. And maybe you already know this vocabulary. Can you tell me the first one? First one is amarillo. And the colors are masculine. So we would say el amarillo. What about the second one? Pause the video, you need to, but interact with me, okay? Say it out loud, practice. What is the second color? El naranja. What about the third one? El tercero. Es el rojo. El verde, el azul, el lila o morado, el marrón, el negro y el blanco. Some people will tell me these are not colors, Alejandro. Okay. It's not the time for this, okay? We're learning Spanish. Let's not get too technical here. So remember these colors: amarillo, naranja, rojo, verde, azul, lila o morado, marrón, negro y blanco. And now I'm going to show you something a bit fun. Here you have some sentences, some expressions that use colors. In case you think that knowing the colors is relevant, well, be mindful that they might be used in contexts you do not expect, like expressions or idioms. For example, poner verde a alguien. What does this mean? You have 6 options on the right: to have a negative balance in your account, to face a challenging or annoying situation, and more. Pause the video again if you need to. And tell me, which of these meanings is poner verde a alguien? Is to criticize, speak badly about someone. For example, mi jefe me pone verde. My boss speaks very bad about me. Me pone verde. What about ponerse morado? Ponerse morado. That is to eat a lot. Yo esta mañana me he puesto morado de croissants. This morning I just eat a lot of croissants. This is a colloquial sentence, okay? And most of these are colloquial. So be mindful of using them in the right context. Quedarse en blanco, I'm sure you know this one. I think it's the same in English to go blank. ¿no? So suddenly you don't know what to say, te quedas en blanco. Estar en números rojos, also the same in English, to be in the red, to have a negative balance in your account. What about ver las cosas de color rosa? I think you may have something like that in English too. This is to someone that sees everything as okay, optimistic, everything is wonderful, an optimistic point of view. And lastly, comerse un marrón is to face a challenging or annoying situation. This is a tricky sentence. You would say something like, me he comido un marrón en la oficina. Ahora tengo que hacer el proyecto de Carlos. So I had this situation, the very annoying situation, and I have to do Carlos' project. Again, this is more fun than useful right now because you are starting out. I don't expect you, and you shouldn't expect from yourself, to be able to use these advanced sentences correctly, but just to give it a spin to just learning the colors in amarillo, azul, and verde. And now we are ready to get started with today's activity around clothing, and very particularly about las chaquetas or las sudaderas. Okay? So you are going to hear John and Sergio discuss what jackets could be a good fit for John, which one he likes. You are not going to understand many things in this audio, probably if you are a beginner, it might be a bit fast, but I just want you to tell me what piece of clothing are they referencing, okay? What piece of clothing are they talking about? That's all I need you to get from the audio right now. So let's give it a try, let's give it a listen, and we will check back in a minute. ¿Conoces la marca Zarman? En su página web tienen ropa muy bonita y a buen precio. Ahí puedes encontrar una chaqueta.
No la conozco. A ver. Esta es bonita, la morada, con el número 7.
Sí, pero cuesta 60 euros. Es un poco cara, ¿no? Yo para ti prefiero esta. We have just heard a portion of the audio. And were you able to recognize which piece of clothing were they referencing? They were talking about la chaqueta de entretiempo. Because they said, esta es bonita, la morada con el número 7. Esta es bonita, la morada con el número 7. So the purple one, la morada, with number 7. But then the other person says, es un poco cara. Cuesta 60 euros. Cuesta 60 euros, es un poco cara. Okay? So they were making reference to number 7. Let's continue listening to the audio. Let's see if you can tell me which one are we referencing.
La cazadora, ¿la veis?
Sí, es muy elegante y es más barata. Solo cuesta 40 euros.
Es verdad, pero está en la talla S, es muy pequeña.
Which one are they talking about now? La cazadora. La beige. Es muy bonita, pero es muy pequeña. Es la talla S. La talla S es muy pequeña. Okay? Don't worry, you don't understand this vocabulary yet. Right? That's the point of the activity, to first just give you the option of understanding, and then we cover the vocabulary. Okay, so we have two they have mentioned. They have not found the right one yet. Let's continue listening. Ya, y esta está rebajada.
¿La morada de algodón? Sí, solo cuesta 30 euros. Pero el color morado, no sé, prefiero otra.
Now they were talking about la chaqueta de algodón. La chaqueta de algodón. No le gusta mucho. Sí, he doesn't like it that much. But cuesta 30 euros. Es muy barata. It's very, very cheap. So let's continue listening for one more. Let's see which one is the one being referenced next.
Mira, esta también está rebajada y es muy bonita.
La negra. Sí, es bonita y moderna.
Sí, 45 euros es un buen precio. Uf, pero no tienen mi talla.
¿Cuál es tu talla?
La grande, la L. Qué pena. Es perfecta.
Can you tell me the last one being referenced in the audio? Es la negra. La chaqueta de entretiempo. Because they said que también está rebajada. It's also discounted. También está rebajada por 45 euros. So, does he get the black jacket? Well, you may have not understood enough to know the answer to that, but don't worry. You can listen to the audio again, And in the lesson notes, you will have also the full audio with the transcript. And the answer is no. No, because it's pequeña, it's small. He needs a L size, una talla L, and therefore they don't have his size. So poor guy has no jacket now. I hope you found this listening activity useful, probably challenging, but again, that goes hand in hand with useful. You need to struggle a bit to understand when you are just starting out. You don't need to understand everything, just whatever the task at hand is requiring, okay? But you can, again, listen to the audio one more time if you need to. And if you're enjoying the lessons, please give it a like, dale a me gusta, es gratis, come on. And now we can go into a bit more detail into the vocabulary of clothes. So in this video, I'm not going to present you with lots of vocabularies around pieces of clothing, like jacket, t-shirt, coat, pants, socks, and all of that. Just wanted to give you an introduction and present you different groups of words relevant to clothing, right, in the context of shopping for them. So first you have las prendas. Las prendas is the pieces of clothing. We have seen chaqueta, as you have also seen cazadora there. There are many more, camiseta, pantalones, and many, many more. You need to refer to colors when you are speaking about clothes. That's why we introduced them first. La roja, la azul, la verde, la negra, la morada. And also to tallas. Las tallas are sizes. Okay? So la pequeña, la mediana, la grande. También decimos la S, la M, la L, o la XL. These ways of referring to clothing. And in the audio, we also hear some references to prices, to say es barato, es caro, está rebajado o en oferta. Es barato is affordable, cheap, inexpensive. Es caro is pricey, is expensive. Está rebajado, está en oferta is it's on sale or it's discounted. I truly believe our lesson notes are always useful, but they truly are in this particular lesson because not only you have, as always, our slides, but you have the vocabulary of colors here, as well as the sentences, the idioms we have just heard. And now you have a complete list of, well, not complete, but you have all the clothes you need here with pictures, right, to reference if you truly want to know, to remember all the words related to clothing, because in the lesson we have just seen a few. So you will have all of that in the lesson notes, as well as the audio you have just heard with an interactive transcript. And they are free, so make sure to access them to complement your study here with our course for beginners, on YouTube. And if you are enjoying the lessons and want to, well, watch the next one where we publish them, remember we are publishing throughout this course every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Then subscribe to our channel. Subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out. Soy Alejandro de Key Spanish y nos vemos en clase.